Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Stampin' Chat. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and I am so happy to have you join me here for tonight's Stampin' Chat Live. I see lots of you coming in from all over the country and all over the world, and I'm getting lots of weather reports out there. It sounds like some of you really got slammed with snow, or you're in the path of a lot of snow. But what is more enjoyable than cuddling up in your craft room with your favorite craft supplies and making some fun cards? Well, that's what we're going to do tonight. Believe it or not, we're up in Wisconsin. We have no snow. It's cold, but no precipitation here. So we're just waiting, and we know it's coming. So you guys are getting it ahead of us. Well, I hope that you guys all had a great Tuesday. It is now Wednesday night, and we are going to make one of my final holiday cards for the season. I'm starting to get to the point now where I've made so many holiday cards and different projects, and I'm starting to get the itch to start doing cards that are more for spring, maybe some flower cards, maybe some rainbow cards, and get back into some of that. But I have a couple of holiday things left up my sleeve, and I thought tonight we could do something a little different. Now, lately, you guys know I have been completely obsessed with embossing powder. I've been embossing in gold and in silver, and then on Monday night, I did a two-tone ombre embossing technique that was really fun. But tonight, I'm going to step away from the metallic embossing. I'm still going to do a little embossing, but I thought it would be fun to do something that's a little more homespun and just add a tiny little sparkle at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a piece of craft cardstock. And I have this cut 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. So it's a little bit big. And I am going to cut this out with my Master Layouts 2 die set. So boy, I've used this with my warpy plates, and you can see my die is bowed a little bit. And that's okay if that happens. They just cut fine with no problem. And you can just kind of bend them back into shape. So, but yeah, that's because my plates are so bowed. It's time for some new plates. Well, tonight I thought I would step away from holiday tapestry, and I would use this little stamp set. This is a mini set called Winter Flower, and you can see I had made some masks during another project, and I stick them right onto the stamp set so I can use them again whenever I want. This set also has a coordinating die set. So it's got a nice little flower and 2 leaves that go with it. Those are available separately if you want them. I'm not going to use these dies tonight, so I'm just going to put them aside. And I am just going to use this big poinsettia stamp. Now, this isn't anywhere near as big as Argita's beautiful poinsettia that she came out with this season. And if you want, you can certainly use that stamp instead. To do this technique, you just won't have to stamp it as many times because it's a nice big stamp. Now, I am going to start by cleaning this stamp because I'm pretty sure that many moons ago when I used this stamp set, I did not clean it because that's kind of how I am sometimes, especially when it comes to Versamark or embossing ink. I am going to use some white embossing powder. So I'm going to be using some of the Gina K Designs Fine Detail white powder. And I keep mine in this big Glad container. But there's probably, I don't know, maybe four or 3 jars of embossing powder left in here. And I'm going to use some Versamark because remember on Monday night I told Tom I needed a new ink pad. Well, we both forgot, and he went to work and came back, and I still don't have any. I don't really need a new ink pad. I need a re-inker, and I forgot to tell him. So I'm back to Versamark tonight. I'm going to be using my embossing magic pad, and I'm going to start with a little rub all over this craft piece of cardstock. All right. Now, I don't need to get too close to the edges for this. I mean, I want to be close to the edge because I want this die to cut it out, and I want this stamp to be hanging off the edge, but I don't want to go too far over where I've got big gaps in the center because when I cut it, then I'm going to have much less flower. So I'm going to keep my flowers clustered a little bit close for this project. All right, so I'm going to start with some Versamark ink, and you can see my Versamark is very, very dirty, and that's okay. If your Versamark has some ink on it from, being used with stamps that are stained, it will still work just fine. So don't stress it. Now I am going to, let's see, I am going to start with one up at the top, and I am going to stamp these and put the embossing powder on one at a time so I can see where I'm stamping. So I'm going to do this one first up here. And I'm not using my MISTI because I really don't want to pick the stamp up and move it every time. So I'm just using one of our big comfort blocks. So there we go. Now I can see where the flower is. I don't have to worry that I'm going to stamp over one of the little petals. So you can do this one at a time. Hey, Carissa Wiley, how are you? I just saw Carissa's name. So nice to see you. Hope everything's going well in your neck of the woods. Carissa is a very talented crafter, YouTuber, and designer. Yeah. Always fun when other people who do what I do stop in on my live, and I'm not nervous at all. Okay, so now I have two there, and I'm going to put one down in this area. And I'm going to stick with just three. Yeah, I don't know anything about the self-healing mats and how they work in the die cutting machines. I'm sure there's great videos out there on that. I have never tried that, but I have heard of that technique that people use that. All right, so we'll put one right here. Okay. Oh, it's so nice to see all you guys coming in. I see you coming in from both YouTube and Facebook. It's great to have you all here. Okay, so I did three. I'm going to stop there. I could do more if I want, but I don't think I'm going to. Now I'm going to heat up my heat tool just a little bit first and just see if that'll help make the embossing powder go a little bit more quickly. I'm reading your comments at the same time as I'm waiting for my heat tool to heat up, and I'm losing my train of thought. Hey, Stacy Woolrod. I saw Stacy come in. Stacy owns a store in Cedar Rapids, Iowa called Scrapmania. It's a great store. Rena and I got to teach there pre-COVID, and we taught there a couple times. It was super fun. It's a great, great store. So if you're in the Cedar Rapids area, make sure you stop in and say hi to Stacy. I know they're open. Okay. There we go. So what my plan is for this card is to keep it very neutral. I'm going for a neutral, soft look tonight. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do before, hey everyone, it's great to see you guys. What I'm going to do before I actually color these images is I'm going to cut it out first with the die cutting machine. And the reason I'm going to do that is because if you have ever gone through all the work of coloring your image only to mess something up with the die cutting machine, you know what I'm talking about. So I think I'll cut it first and then color it. So again, I'm going to be using this stitched rectangle from the Master Layouts 2 die set. And I'm going to cut it right about there. Doesn't really matter. Wherever I cut it, it's going to look good. That sounded very confident, didn't it? So Tom and I were laughing tonight because we were talking about our clothes. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to craft supplies, I'm all over it. I love to try new things. I love to buy craft supplies. I love to buy new tools to make things out of. But when it comes to clothes, and I do like clothes. I mean, I think they're fun. That's what that looks like cut out. I do think clothes are fun, but I don't spend a lot of time buying clothes. And of course, with COVID, I don't even know like if you can buy clothes. I guess some stores are open, but I like to try things on, and maybe some dressing rooms are open, but I don't know. I haven't been to a store in a while for any kinds of new clothes. So Tom and I were kind of laughing tonight because we realized that he and I, this is bad, but he and I both have pictures of us with our kids wearing the same clothes that we still have right now. That's bad. We need to change that. Okay, so now I've got this, I saw a question there. How do I get rid of the powder film if I'm using an embossing magic pad on black cardstock? What I do is I take one of those Swiffer dusters and I just rub all over it and it picks up all of the excess powder. So, okay. Now I'm going to use a white Prismacolor pencil because I'm going for a super neutral look here. And I'm not going to be coloring with any Gamsol or anything. I'm just going to shade in these areas. And this kind of gives it almost like a lacy look or a vellum look. Yeah, so as soon as things are safer, I think it's going to be time to shed some of the clothes. I mean, it's bad when you're looking at a picture of yourself with your babies who are now 23 and 25 and you're wearing the same shirt. I guess that's a good thing. I mean, maybe Tom and I should be like happy that we still fit into the same shirt, but it is like, okay, I can't tell you. I've been looking at you wearing that same shirt for 25 years. Could you please get something new?
Shirt's been expanding along with me.
Oh, the shirt's been expanding with you? As you can see, Tom does not have his microphone yet, and he's refusing, but he's going to do it, right? You're going to get a microphone.
Right now.
Right now? Oh, yeah. I guess we do have a lot of stretchy clothes, so maybe that's why. If we had like tight fitting clothes, if we were fashion conscious, Tom, we would be getting new clothes because we wouldn't be able to fit into them. So you can see how this is starting to look. It's super soft and the white embossing powder is still very stark compared to this very, the light shading of white. But it just creates a really pretty neutral look. All styles are back in vogue now, Tom. Did you see that comment?
All styles?
Yeah, Cindy said, no matter what we're wearing, we're in vogue. Everything old is new again. So you guys know that I'm not going to say petite because that would imply that I was thin. I'm going to say I'm short. And I was reading what style short girls should wear. And you know what they said? They said I should be wearing flared jeans, like bell-bottomy kind of jeans. Now, do you guys agree with that for somebody really short, do you think? Because I'm only 5 feet tall. That's really not tall. That shouldn't even be, that's like 5 feet short. That's not, I am very, very, I'll go with petite, but not all of me is petite, but definitely my height. So do you think I should be looking into flared jeans? Anybody have any bell bottoms? No bell bottoms? No. Why would they say that? I'm going to try it. I'll take a picture. I'll try, when the store's open, I will try some bell bottoms and I will take a picture in the room, what do they call it? Dressing room. Oh, my brain. And I will share the pictures with you and you guys can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And I will not be offended if you give me a thumbs down. I will consider that thumbs down like the way your good friend doesn't lie to you and say, oh yeah, you look good. They say, no girl, get that off right now and put something else on. Okay, so you can see I did the first one here. What do you guys think of this? Isn't this fun looking? It just fills it all out, but it's so soft and it's so easy to do. Okay. Then they said no knee boots. I couldn't wear knee boots at my height, which is terrible because I have knee boots. And I did not know that I didn't look good in them until I read that article. So those may be making a trip to Goodwill. I don't know. I kind of think like maybe like leggings. Is that fashionable? Oh, sweatpants. Is that in fashion? I guess it is if you have like a designer sweatpant. If I had Gucci sweatpants, I'd be so in fashion. But that's not going to happen. All right, I'm going to hurry up a little here. Well, I'm not going to hurry too much. Definitely want to get it all filled in. And if anybody is stamping along, if white pencil is not your thing and you want to try something else with the Prismacolor pencil set, there are like 10 colors that are super, super pale, like super pale pinks and super pale yellows and even blues that are like barely noticeable that it's blue. And you could try something like that too. You don't have to use white, but I do think that everybody should have a white colored pencil in their collection. So this is not a watercolor pencil. This is just a regular waxy white Prismacolor pencil. Now my point is starting to go away, so I'm feeling like I'm struggling a little bit. So I do have my pencil sharpener. This is the iPoint Orbit pencil sharpener. This is the battery operated one. I also have the beautiful plug-in one that my friend Karen Hightower bought for me as a gift, but I don't have a open plug up here because of all of our equipment that's all over the place. So I'm using the battery one on the live. I do like taking the battery operated one with me when we go camping because I love to color while I'm sitting outside, you know, in the afternoon. It's just nice to sit outside in the sun and color a little bit. So I always bring my Prismacolor pencils with me and something to color. Sometimes I bring stamped images. Other times I just bring like a coloring book, an adult coloring book, because, you know, I color stamped images a lot. It's part of my job, although I don't mind. I love it. Okay, so there's the second one. What do you guys think? It just finishes it off so nice. I love it. Half moon wide leg jeans do look wonderful on shorter folks, but not bell bottoms. Half moon. Oh, I got to look up that. I don't know what that is. A half moon bell bottom. I got to look at that.
Did you use a white crayon?
You could use a white crayon. Now, the thing about white crayons is they're a little skippy, so you might not get such a smooth look out of it. It might have more of a crackly look to it because crayons kind of do that, but you could certainly try it. You know, I'm a big one. Sometimes people will ask me, even in our forum, can I try this? Like, what will happen? And I always say, you know, that's how I come up with most of my techniques. I try things and I don't know what's going to happen. Now, it doesn't always work out. But if you think about it, it only costs you a piece of cardstock. It's not really, you know, a big investment to try something. So I would definitely try it. And the good thing about like this technique is if you try this on the back on one side and you don't like it, you know, color a little bit first before you cut it out. And if it doesn't look good, just flip the paper over and use the other side. So what's new with all of you guys these days? I know there's not a lot new. We were talking on Facebook about the COVID vaccine. And I know it's not everybody's thing, but it's my thing. I am very excited to get it. I want to go out. I want to see my friends. I miss people. Do you guys miss people too? It is fun, though, being able to connect here during the lives with all of you and get to see your comments. I have to stop once in a while and look up and see what you guys are saying. So no Gamsol in this one. I'm just coloring straight away with white. Okay. Let's see. Almost done this part. This is the longest part. So if you like this card idea, you know, you don't have to do it for Christmas. You can use any one of Argita or Hannah's big flowers, Melanie's flowers, any of the Gina K flowers, Alicia's flowers. And if you are a little intimidated by coloring in general, this is a nice alternate coloring technique because it gives you a really pretty look. And all you need is one pencil, your pencil sharpener, and a bunch of these stamped and embossed. And you can sit and watch TV or listen to the television, listen to a podcast, whatever you like to do, and really color a lot of these and get them ready for whatever you need. Okay, I'm going to give a little more color there. The stitching, got to go over that stitching a little bit. Okay, so there now I have my 3 flowers done. Oh goodness. So yeah, lots of you are getting snow. All right, so I want to add just a little splash of color here. So I have a sample that I made in red that I'm going to show you. But for this one, I decided that I was going to use some sea glass because I think sea glass and craft are kind of cool combination together. So I'm going to use a pencil. The pencil I'm going to be using here is called Light Aqua. And I think that I don't know if you guys can see that, but I think that's a really nice match for sea glass. Yeah, so I'm going to go in and I'm just going to color these berry things. I know they're not berries. They have a name. I think they're called something like stamen or something. All of my flower people and gardeners would know. And I'm going to fill these in with that light aqua. So let's get in a little closer so you guys can see a little better. I did use a lot of Gamsol this summer, if that's what you guys are talking about. Definitely did a lot of Gamsol projects, and I will be doing more of those again coming up. We have some really neat things coming in January, and we're going to try to sneak a little release in at the end of this month. I think we just finally got our design team samples, so of course that's always a we've got to get things out to our team. So we're going to try to sneak something in by the end of this month. We are also in the middle of working on some really fun blind boxes. So I'll tell you more about those coming up soon. So you can see how pretty that looks, just that little bit of blue in there. All right. Yeah, I know there's lots of opinions out there when it comes to the vaccine, but for me, I kind of like Dr. Fauci. He reminds me so much of my dad. Doesn't he, Tom? Yeah. Dr. Fauci? He reminds me of my dad. My dad was a little Italian guy, and I feel like he wouldn't steer us wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm going to take my chances. You know who I'm really leaning on in the whole thing? God. So, whatever's meant to be will be, right? But I need to get out. I need to just get out a little bit, but I don't want to do it in a way that I could hurt anybody or hurt my family or myself. So, all right. So these are almost done here. I love that little touch of aqua. I think the aqua one is my favorite card, but I'll show you the red one at the end. Okay. So now we've got those 3 little aqua things. It's just enough. Okay. So now we're going to use a die for this. And I know I used this die before, but I'm kind of hooked on this die lately. I love this holiday die. And I love that I can stamp things from seasonal sentiments and cut them out with this little flag from Master Layouts 3. Now, if you guys don't have Master Layouts 3, you can still make this card. Just stamp any strip sentiment and just cut it out as a little rectangle. And then you can take your scissors and just angle it in to make the little tails. So you don't necessarily need a die like this, but if you have it, it certainly makes things easy. And it, I don't know, it just it's perfect every time, you know? So I wonder what people are doing on Wednesday nights now. Is it Wednesday during this time of the year that there's a lot of church services? Or is that during Easter time? I don't know. I felt like when you and I were playing, Tom and I used to play music at our church, and I felt like we went to church. We played every Wednesday night, I thought. But maybe our church just always had a Wednesday night service. Okay, so I am going to poke this out. Now, this is the holiday greeting. I'm going to cut 2 of them, and I'm going to glue them together just for a little bit more stability. You can do 3 and 4 of them if you really want it to be like a 3D embellishment. But I love this. This is just really fun. You want me to sing for you? You know what? I'm going to talk to Tom because I think I might record a Christmas song for you guys and make a little video. What do you think, Tom? Will you help me with that?
All right.
Okay. I might do a little Christmas song for you guys. Oh, you guys you didn't see what just happened, but my craft pick rolled off open like that. See that? Rolled off my table and just missed my foot. That would have hurt. Okay, so I'm cutting 2 of these. And then while I have my die cutting machine, I'm going to do a couple more things. Wednesday are Advent services if church was open. Right. So I wonder if people are doing them online. Because we always have so many people here on Monday night, and we always had a lot of people on Wednesday night. And Wednesday night seems a little more quiet right now, and I bet a lot of people have online church services right now at this time. But for those of you that were here on Monday, you probably heard me say this. We are going to, in January, we're going to flip our schedule around a little bit. We're still going to do Monday night, but we thought we would try doing a Thursday lunchtime live because I know a lot of you guys kind of, maybe you go to bed early or this doesn't work for you. I'm using the second die from the Master Layouts 2 to cut a white piece now. That's the one that coordinates with the stitched one. So I know some of you, if you're on the East Coast, this doesn't start until 8 o'clock. Some of you on the West Coast, it might interfere with your dinner. So we're going to try adding a lunchtime one starting in January. So you can see this works really nicely together. And that little pop of white is so pretty with the white poinsettias. Okay. So now we're going to do one more cut, but before we do that, I have to stamp something. So I'm trying to decide, you guys can help me decide this. I'm going to add a little bit. Let me get my thing over here and I'll zoom in a little so you guys can help me. Let's see, here we go. Yes, I know not everybody can get the vaccine. And that's why I think, if I can get it, I should get it. So I don't give it to somebody who can't get it, Okay. So if I put that there and I use a little bit of vellum, let's say I'm going to put a little strip of vellum on here and I put my holiday greeting on here. Now, should I use a piece of craft cardstock to stamp my little greeting? Or should I use a piece of sea glass to stamp my greeting? What do you guys think? Or white. I'll throw white in the mix. Let's see. Here's a piece of white. Which one should I use for my little flag? Let's see what you guys think. Because I used craft for the red one, and I'm not sure I'm sold on it. But maybe some of you guys would think that craft would be the right one. So I'm not going to give up on it. White is a lovely buffer for the aqua. Sea glass, sea glass, sea glass. Okay, we have a lot of sea glass, couple white. I'm thinking sea glass is the winner. Yeah, there's a lot of sea glass. There's even sea glass in all caps. All right, we're going with sea glass. Okay. Well, I used white in my card from the other night. Let me see if I can find that. I don't know where anything is. But that looked really good in white too. So I do agree that white is a nice option. Okay, so I'm going to, for my other card, I did holiday wishes. So maybe I will do holiday cheer. Yeah, I think wishes. I think poinsettias, I don't want to say they're not cheery, but holiday cheer feels, I don't know, more like snowman and things like that. Holiday wishes seems maybe the more elegant choice. So I'm going to go with holiday wishes. So I'm going to, I know, no black again, Vicky, Jesse. Yes, no black. You guys, you know me. I'm going without. I know, it's scary, isn't it? I'm going to do this in white embossing. So I'm going to use my Versamark here. Okay. I know, no black. It's like painful for me not to use black. Don't worry, I'll be back into using black again really soon. Okay, so you can barely see that on there, but once the heat tool hits it. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that shadow with the holiday dye. That's nice too. All right. Okay, so now we can see that, right? We can all see the wishes. I know, right, Daleen? Living on the wild side. Exactly. Okay. Now, I'm way too close again, but I got to get my die cutting machine in here. Oh, that looks big. That looks really big. Yeah, I am a big fan of the splash of black around the rim of my cards to accent things. I do think it makes everything pop. There was a while, I don't know if you guys remember this trend, but there was a while where every card that had black around the edge, I would use a white gel pen and put dots all over. That I had dots everywhere. And that was a good trend. It was nice. Yes, Gina. Yes, I will be back in black in 2021. You got it, Sean. That's like, I don't know, like that's my fashion right there. My color combinations with my cards is part of my fashion, you know, my style. We all have our style. Need to put a little bit of that thought into the clothes I'm wearing. Oh, look at how crooked that is. That's not good. Well, it's not really crooked. It's just not centered. So I got to go back. I got to fix it. Okay. This might be a little bit of a shorter live tonight if we get done before 8, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so I want to tell you tomorrow night I'm going to be live again. But I'm not going to be live here in my Facebook group or here on YouTube. I'm going to be live in the SCT, that's the Scrapbook and Cards Today Sampler Facebook group. Now, that's a private group, but Catherine, who runs the group, told me that she was going to open it up to the public so anybody that wanted to come can come. There we go. That's what that looks like. So I'm going to post a link tomorrow and let you guys know where it is. And you can join the book, the group. She's going to be approving everybody who wants to join to come and see the live. And what I'm going to be showing is I have a stamp set that just came out in their latest sampler kit. And I'm going to be breaking open the kit and playing with the sampler pieces, all the bits and pieces that are in that kit, and making a card. So I haven't even opened the kit yet. It's kind of like, it's something I like to do live in front of everybody, and it's really a lot of pressure because I don't even know what I'm going to make, but it worked out really well last time. And I do have an exclusive stamp set that It'll be available eventually at Gina K Designs, but right now it's exclusive to that little kit. So if you guys would like to come, it's going to be at 7 o'clock, just like this, and it's going to be over at the SCT Sampler Facebook group. So you can go over there now if you want to join. Well, not now, don't leave me, but afterwards you can go over and join, and Catherine is going to start approving people. We're going to have a lot of fun, and their little kits are so inexpensive. They're like super cheap. They cost nothing. It's just a little fun splash of something that comes in the mail every month. So, okay, so this is a 2-inch piece of vellum, and I want to make sure that that's going to look good. What do you think? That looks pretty nice, right? And then we'll put that little splash of, oh yeah, you guys, the aqua. The aqua has it. Okay. The sea glass. So I'm going to adhere these pieces together first. I got to do this here. I can't use white on white because I can't see it. And I'm going to use the Gina K Designs tape runner. I didn't get this too warpy this time. Usually I warp up my cardstock when I emboss, and this doesn't look so bad. Excuse my head if it gets in the way. That camera's really high up on the ceiling, and it's kind of hard if I lean in at all to not. Let's see.
I need to tell them what the name of the group is again.
Oh, okay. The name of the group is SCT, like S as in Sam, C as in cat, T as in what? T as in Thomas. There we go. T as in Thomas. SCT Sampler group. But I will link it too. Okay, so you guys, you don't have to worry about trying to remember it. When this video goes to live replay right after the live tonight, I will go in and link the group so you can find it, and I'll also link it over in our Facebook group. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to tape this. Did somebody ask Tom? T as in Tom. Tom, they're calling you. Oh, but you're right. T as in Tom. I don't know. You know, sometimes I have to do money wires for products that we order, and I don't know all the proper. There's like it's called like some kind of call language, right? When you do the alphabet. And you say like B as in boy, C as in Charlie. I don't know any of those. I'm giving them all weird words like D as in donuts, P as in pizza. And they're like, no, don't do that. You just tell me the letter. If we don't know, we'll repeat it back because I got them all a mess. Oh, yes. Okay, so we're going to put this right on this sea glass card base. Like that. Wow, I can't see straight here. What's going on? Okay, there we go. All right, so how do you like it so far? Kind of nice. Okay, so now I'm not liking this white paper. It's kind of blinding me. So I'm going to use just a little piece of sea glass here. And then I'm going to glue these two together using some Connect glue. You put your plates in boiling water, huh? And that works pretty good, pretty well. Trying to use the right word. It works pretty well to get your plates not warped. That's cool. Okay, so I'm just dotting on some Connect glue all over the back of this hello. Yeah, I know there's lots of tips and tricks. I saw the funniest post though, because somebody said, well, if you wrap your plates in, I don't know if it was like tin foil or something, and then put them on a cookie sheet and just put them in the oven at a really super low temperature for just a tiny bit of time, they will flatten out. And this person did it, but they forgot about it and they watched like a 2-hour show on TV and their plates were just melted globs of plastic. It was pretty funny. You know, things happen. You got to laugh. Okay, so when I put these together, I start at one end and then I work my way across. It helps me get it a little bit nicer because some of these little parts are very delicate. that's kind of stuck. All right. I'm going to work my way across here. And then that is really tiny and skinny. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. And you see, it just feels like a more solid piece when you do that. Okay. Now I'm going to put that here on my vellum. And I'm going to use the Connect glue for that as well. I really do like using the Connect glue for these greetings. So let me get my piece of cardstock again, just in case the glue oozes out. And you want to, I mean, I don't worry too much if it's a little gluey and it oozes out, because the Connect glue goes on white, but it does dry clear. So you don't have to worry too much if, you know, you slide on the vellum and you see it a little bit. You don't have to worry, but I don't like to over glue because you really don't need to. And if you've ever tried using Connect glue with your cardstock and it's warped your cardstock, it's really just because you're using too much. You need such a little bit of this. It's really sticky and it really holds everything down. So I don't need like anywhere near that much. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna have some fun tomorrow creating on the fly, trying to figure out what to use from the kit. All new stuff from me. And I am gonna be using the little stamp set that I designed for that sampler kit. So it's a mini stamp set. I mean, our mini stamp sets are valued at $10.95, and you get that along with just feels like a million other things. So you should check it out. Okay, here we go. Oh, Lynn, you're having surgery tomorrow? Oh, I'll pray for you. I hope everything goes well. Okay. There we go. Yeah, if you're home and you're up and you're doing okay, definitely tune in. All right. Sometimes I use my craft pick just to clean up the glue if it oozes outside, if it's a glob. And then you can always just wipe that off or clean it off with a little bit of stamp cleaner or alcohol. All right, so we've got holiday on there. Now I'm going to slip wishes just underneath because it's not 100% dry yet. And I'm going to stick that on using some of the tape runner. Okay. So that baking your plates didn't work for some of you? Yeah. I've never tried to bake them. I just buy new ones when I need them. I mean, they're not that expensive, especially the Spellbinders ones are really not that expensive at all to replace. And I know Jennifer has a video, Jennifer McGuire. She has a video on how to prevent your plates from warping. So you could check that out too. Okay, so there's my greeting. I kind of like this whole layout thing we got going here. And now I'm going to add a few little sequins to this. I could add snowflakes. Snowflakes would be pretty. Nah, I think the snowflakes are cute, but I think I'm going to add some of the disco ball sequins. Throw a few down there. You know, I threw it right on the glue. Gosh. See, you guys, before I started doing lives, everything was so polished and nice, and now you know the truth. This is the truth here. Ooh, you know, it would be pretty too. Our turquoise sea ones. Oh, I don't have those here. Never mind. Going back to disco ball. Okay. So I'm going to put one in the center of each flower. Not that one though. So I'll put one there. And then I'll put one here and one up here. And one maybe down here. And then I'm going to put one right on top of the eye, just to jazz up the eye. We'll see how that looks. We might change it up. We'll see. But there's something about that little bit of sparkle. I can never say no to sparkle, even on a craft card. Just have to have a little. There. One down here. And then one right on top of the eye. Okay. So what do you guys think? Is that fun? That's just something a little different. It's more, I don't know, it's softer, but it's still very pretty. It reminds me of snow. I know there's absolutely no snow in here, but it's the feeling of snow, kind of that soft blue and just that little bit of sparkle, like the moonlight hitting the snow at night with the lights outside. Yeah. Oh, you're a newbie? You want to know what this tool is? This is the Marvy Jewel Picker. We do carry these in our online store. They have two ends, so they have a bigger end for bigger, heavier things, and then they have this red end that picks up sequins really easy. It sticks to them, and it allows you to place the sequins without having to try to do it with your fingers, because that can be kind of messy. All right, so there is my finished card. Let me show you the red one that I made earlier. I think the red one would have been so much nicer had I used red for the label, and you'll see what I mean. I used craft, and I don't like it as much. You see how it needs that little splash of color? It's like a design element that just needs to be there. Here I used craft, thinking I was going to keep it very, very, neutral, but I think it's missing that splash of color. So what I'm going to do is I might just do a red one and slip it under there. But there you go. You can see the difference. Also, the other difference between these two cards is I used the Master Layouts 2 die set to cut the craft panel and the white panel. I used my paper cutter to cut the craft panel and white panel here. So it doesn't have that little design element of stitching, and it's bigger, so it's the size of the Master Layouts 1. So you can see on the Master Layouts 2, you get that nice little stitched edge. Nothing finishes it off like a little bit of stitching like that. So there are my two cards. I definitely feel like the winner is the turquoise, the sea glass one. But the red is fun too, and it's definitely a little bit more traditional. So both styles, you can kind of do what you guys think, and I hope you liked it. All right. Well, that was really fun. I had so much fun with you guys tonight. So remember, tomorrow night I'll be over at the SCT sampler group, and I'll be sharing their current sampler kit, and I will be making some cards on the fly using my new stamp set and all the bits and pieces that come in that little sampler kit. Well, until then, and then I'll be back here on Monday night for another Mix It Up Monday, and we'll be using, again, all the Gina K design stuff. So I will look forward to seeing you there too. I hope you'll join me. All right, you guys, until tomorrow night, I hope you can make it. Stay safe, stay healthy. I love you all so very much. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.